Hey, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to answer which is probably the number one question I get from folks, and that's where do I source my wood, or how do I go about processing the wood that I am able to obtain to the point where I can use it on the lathe. In this case, I want to thank my new friend Keith, who was kind enough to donate me these walnut logs that came from a tree taken down in his backyard. They are in fact walnut. The end grain has been painted with a taupey colored latex paint to prevent the wood from cracking before I have a chance to process these into bowl blanks. Other than these opening comments, I won't be talking a whole lot in this video, although about 5 minutes in I do some on-screen discussion and a close-up tour of my shop-made circle cutting jig that I'm using to process these logs into actual bowl blanks that will be eventually turned on the lathe. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you'll never miss out on any of our content. Doing so will actually help our channel grow, and YouTube will recommend it to a wider audience. Thank you for stopping in, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay friends, so far in this video, you see me take a rough log, chainsaw that in half, and then put it on my circle cutting jig to make a bowl blank. So this is, a smaller walnut log that was given to me by my new buddy Keith that I'm making into some bowl blanks for walnut bowls later on. So I just wanted to give you a quick tour of my circle cutting jig. These are available commercially, but they're really easy to make, cheap, if you just follow a couple rules or tips that you want to make sure your circle cutting jig has. So in order to take, the rough piece of log like this and turn it into a bowl blank that we can use, we have a simple circle cutting jig. This particular jig was just laminated from 2 1/2-inch pieces of MDF, or about 26 millimeters combined. You just want to use as flat of a product as you can get. If you're going to use plywood, I recommend getting like a furniture grade plywood, but these 2 pieces of MDF have worked fine. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the camera to show you kind of more of a close-up view. So let's go with a little close-up tour of my very simple shop-made circle cutting jig. As I mentioned, it's a couple of 1/2-inch pieces of MDF laminated together. If you're going to use a plywood, I'd recommend going with like a furniture grade plywood that is super flat. The plywood that you get from the big box retailers, that's just regular construction grade, won't really work because you want a really flat surface. You're going to want to attach a runner, which is this little piece you see here. Attach a runner to the bottom of that. That will ride in your miter groove on your bandsaw. And the most important thing probably with these circle cutting jigs is you want to score a line or mark a line that's exactly equal and set up to the front of your blade. That's absolutely critical. If your pin that you'll use to rotate your wood on is just a little bit in front of the blade, front, or a little bit behind that, you'll end up getting a slightly oval shaped circle, and that will end up binding up against the blade and cause all kinds of problems. In my case, I have, let me pull this out a little bit here. In my case, on this shop design, I've got a little C-channel, little groove that will fit in around the front of my fence holder. And let me zoom in really close. I have a little screw that'll stick out here, and this will, adjust. It's a fine adjustment tool so that my fence, or I should say my jig table, will be always right in front of the blade. I might be using a thicker blade for a bigger bowl blank or a really thin one, but I can use that screw to do slight adjustments to move this whole thing forward and backwards. So this line here is always exactly in front of the blade. And then over the years, I've just measured out, if I want to cut a 12-inch circle, I just drop a little nail into the 6-inch radius dimension. And of course, that will get me a 12-inch circle. So as I'm cutting these pieces, I'll just drill a hole in the bottom of that. And that's how sometimes you see me kind of eyeing to drop this drilled hole over that pin. And once you've done that, that's what the whole, your whole piece of wood will rotate on safely. So again, critical to have this line here lined up exactly with the front of that blade. And these are pretty simple. I mean, this one I made going on probably 15 years ago, and it's been holding up pretty well. So let's get back to cutting my last 2 pieces, and then So at this point, we're basically finished with the process that I use to take a raw log and turn it into a bowl blank that can eventually be turned into a final bowl. I ended up yielding 10 bowl blanks out of those logs. The couple of the medium-sized ones are about 12 inches or 30 centimeters. Some of the smaller ones were 9 inches or about 23 centimeters. 4 of them were significantly bigger. This one is about 13 inches or 33 centimeters. So that's the process I go through. Once those are rough turned, I ended up sealing those with a commercial product. You can use off-the-shelf latex paint. I don't put any on the bottom on the side grain. That's going to dry naturally. It's just the end grains that you want to seal up to prevent the bowl from cracking before you get a chance to rough turn it. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. If so, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps us be promoted within YouTube and make our videos available for more viewers. So if you have any questions, put those in the comments below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I appreciate your time, and have a good day. Thanks.